thank you very much for watching or listening today. Today, I have a very special guest, and I'm truly honored and blessed to be talking with this man. Today, I have eight-time world kickboxing champion, four-time European kickboxing champion, competed in 156 professional fights. That's something you don't hear every day. With over 50 knockouts, it might be more by now. He's fought in many countries around the world against some of the very best fighters in the world for some of the best promotions on earth, including one championship, Kunlun Fight, Glory Kickboxing, K1, the Contender Asia, S Cup Europe, W5 Grand Prix, and many more. Proudly hails from Dagestan in Russia, but has competed out of fight camps around the world. If you haven't guessed it already, you should have. The legend, the living legend, Dzhabar Askerov is with me today. And Champ, I want to say a big thank you for coming on the show as well, especially given the time difference between obviously the UK and Australia. So thank you very much.
Thank you, mate. Thank you. My pleasure.
Okay. Well, my pleasure. Oh, and a quick mention, he's also competed in professional boxing and MMA as well. Don't want to miss that out. So you've been a busy man. Okay, so starting at the beginning, obviously I've seen on your Instagram and different places that you've been calling out Chad Mendes for a fight for a little while now, trying to get a bare knuckle fight with him. I want to talk about that a little bit in terms of what's attracted you to that fight, why you picked him to call out, and also the reason for that being a bare knuckle fight that you want to compete in. So just in your own words, Champ, what's attracted you to calling out Chad Mendes for a fight?
Well, man, I've been looking for his fights. Like everyone, who's involved in the fighting business, everyone who watches the fighting business, they know who's Chad. We know his career through the UFC and stuff like this. And when I found out that he signed up with Ben FC, you know what? Like I fought everywhere, so I thought maybe I should try in Ben FC too. That would be one of last signs I'm gonna do in my fighting career, and I'm really hoping to get that fight because Chad is an entertainment fighter. It's exciting to watch fight, and he's like explosive fighter as well, and he's same size as me, same height, same weight, or almost, So I guess it's gonna be a really entertainment fight, the fight people want to see, and look, I've done kickboxing, standing hands and kicks and hands. He done a MMA, kick, punch, wrestle as well. So we meet somewhere in the middle, like a bare knuckle. It's like a 50-50. So I believe there is not one guy have more chances than the other one. You understand? It's like equal fight. So why not? Good names. People want to see good explosive style of both of us. So I believe it's gonna could be good match, and that's what people want to see. That's it.
Very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes total sense. I mean, it's very much an exciting fight for the fans, and I hope it gets made. But either way,
Man,
seeing you in bare knuckle
that's,
is going to be.
that's what I'm. That's what I'm looking for, man. There is a lot of fighters in BKFC, but there was no one like I really wanted to fight. Like it's a big name. It must be a big name. It must be a really entertainment fighter with big audience. He have big audience behind, and I got enough audience behind of me as well. And even let's take away the social media followers. Let's say people who knows just us. Yeah, I got a lot of fans as well. He got a lot of fans, and that's what people want to see. Really, the real fight. And that's why I thought, like, man, I should call him out, and I hope he is my calling out and accepted the fight.
Well, I hope he does, champ, and I think I speak for fight fans all around the world when we hope so. That would be an incredible match between two living legends, I think. So brilliant. Okay, so that's what's happening right now. Now, obviously, with this interview, I do plan to move around time a little bit. Look forward and look back, if that makes sense. So one of the things to do is I do want to have a little look back over your career as well, and then we can come back to your future plans. But you've accomplished a lot. I mean, eight World Championships. That's something you don't hear every day. Obviously, four European Championships, and I know there's other amateur titles and other things in there. So it's a lot of things. Out of those, I mean, when you look back on your career now, is there one world championship that you're more proud of than any of the others, or are you proud of all of them in equal measure, if you know what I mean?
Basically, there could be a title fight and stuff like this, but obviously there is fights which not title fight, they're just a fight, and sometimes winning over that fight, it makes you more proud than a title fight. You know what I mean? Like you're fighting like I fought like a legends like Bukao, Andy Sawa, Yoshihiro Sato, and stuff like this. And some of them I beat Sato and Andy Sawa I beat. And those fights means way more a lot than winning the title fight. So that's it. Titles doesn't mean much for me. What's mean? It's the name who you're fighting, the audience who's behind of this person, and how much people want to see that fight. That makes the point. You know what I mean? It's not just the belt is just belt is belt. Just okay. But to fight some legend, that's make a big sense for me. That makes the winning over, and especially if you win over, you're really proud of yourself, man.
Yeah, I get the mentality. I like that. Well, yeah, you have fought some legends. Big respect on that. I have to highlight this a little bit though. When you're approaching a fight, be it a title fight, be it a fight against a legend, do you approach those fights differently in the build-up, if you get what I mean, in terms of mental preparation, physical preparation, or to you, are all fights the same when you're going into them, if you understand?
Like during a while ago, when you're younger and stuff like this, when you fight someone, some war titles and stuff like title fights, it makes you motivating and stuff like this. But when you gain that stuff, when you gain that belts and the championships and the awards, these days what motivates me, if I'm finding someone big name, some big legend name, that motivates you. Fighting some unknown names doesn't pumps you, that you don't get it hunger, because you've done this many times, you've done this through many times. But when you're fighting someone like a living legend, man, that's it. The fire comes and you want to really that fight, and you want to make that fight beautiful. You want to show all your skills, and you want to win it. That's at the moment that's what I love to do. Fighting top level fighters. That's why I was one of the reasons as well why I called the chat. Like there is a lot of fighters and unknown fighters in BKFC. They might be good, yeah, no doubt about it, but there's no name.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, fighting the best, the challenge, it makes a lot of sense, and testing yourself, this type
Yeah,
of thing,
that's
you know.
you prove, you want to see what kind of level you are when you're fighting top fighters, like fighting Georgia Petrosyan, fighting Andy Sawa, fighting Bukao, pumps you. Like, you want to fight, you want to show all your skills, and you want to like challenge. Mainly, you want to challenge yourself. You want to like let's see Jabba, what I can do, what I can get, what I can get through me to the fight.
Mm,
That's
very much.
you like wake you up, what makes it.
Yeah. Very cool, very cool. So with that then, another thing, I know I asked about the proudest world title win, and we've moved past that. But in terms of the legends that you faced, and you faced a lot of legends, a lot of good fighters. I mean, is there one that was sort of the toughest fight? And this is a big question for you because 156 fights and you fought all over the world and everything you've accomplished. So I know it's a big question, and you've had a lot of tough fights. But is there one that stands out where you really had to dig deep, you were really, in the trenches, as they say, or however you want to put it, maybe one that's the toughest. Does any stand out like that? Maybe more than one? I don't know.
You know what?
Ones?
It depends what kind of how tough it was, how tough it
Mm,
were mentally,
mm,
mentally. When you fight Georgi Petrosyan, it's like fighting a chess game. You're playing like a chess game. He's sometimes most of the time he's one step ahead of you, you know, on what are you gonna do in the ring and stuff like this. That was hard fight due to like what do you call technical way. That was the hardest fight. Physically, I fought Yoshihira Sata. Man, that was for me. It was really hard fight physically. Man, I won that fight, but man, it was a big challenge. He never gave up. I dropped him in the first round, but he got up and he was just annoying with knees and clinch. And when like after third round, I won the fight and stuff. But I went to back to the locker room. I was like, about took me 40 minutes, between 40 minutes to 1 hour to just recover. I was that tired, almost like a dead, you know. And I gave all of mine in the ring. And then mentally, when you fought Andy Sauer, you know, you're fighting like a legend, living legend, twice K1 champion. And when you're fighting him, you're so excited. You want to fight it that much on a fire and stuff. That was a hard fight as well. There's heaps of fight like that, man. Like you know, but it depends. Uh, what like how hard was it? Like technically hard, physically hard, mentally hard. You know, it's different hardness. Yeah.
Brilliant, brilliant. But you know what's cool about that answer is I actually had those in, different questions of who was the most technically skilled and who was the mentally. But you've answered it all together, which is very very cool. I like that. So that's a really good insight, and it's a good insight that the fans don't see. Just from watching the fight, they don't see your experiences. So it's really good to share that here.
Some like you when you see like my fight when I even want myself watching it on YouTube, you fight like you're replaying the fight and stuff. You don't see that you're gassed out that much, you know. But man, I swear it took an hour in a locker room just to recover. I was that like bad feeling, you know. You almost see like you need oxygen mask because I couldn't breathe. I was like that tired, and you can't see it on the video. But that's what people want to see. People don't see that part, you know. People don't see the camp. You're going through the hard times and stuff like this. People see doesn't see much stuff. People see the only that 9 to 15 minutes in the ring, and they judge from that what's happening after, what's happening before. They don't see. That's but that's how it is, you know.
Mm, very much. Well, it's a great insight for people. That's very true. Another thing with this though is obviously around the world you fought so many countries, and I mean I followed your career for a long time anyway. But when I was researching for this, I was looking at the list and it's just so many places, that you fought in. Is there one where you that's a favorite of yours to compete? I mean, in terms of maybe the crowd, maybe the culture, maybe the welcome that you receive from the fans there, because you fought in so many countries. I mean, anyone watching this, if you look at the list, it'll blow your mind, man. You've really been around the world. But do you have one that sticks in your memory, maybe for being the best welcome from the fans, or a favorite place that you fought for any
Man,
reason?
I really love to fight in Italy,
Hmm.
and they're one of the like favorite places to fight. I fought there at the Yokkao show, and I have a big fan base there, and they're very welcome people, you know, and I really love it. Sweden, Stockholm, it's a long time been kind of my second home for fights, you know. I fought there many times, and I really love Swedish people too, you know. They're big fans got there, and they love the fight game as well. Man, there is heaps of places around the world where I fought, and the people very good and welcome people, you know. But Italy and Sweden, I would call one of the best. And Thailand is just a special country. Thailand is Thailand. I fought there, I lived there. I lived there 10 years, and just like it's special. I'm saying that.
Mm, amazing, incredible. Another thing with that though is obviously you fought in countries around the world with quite different climates and quite different sort of places at different altitudes and all different things. Does that ever affect your training or anything like this? So if you think of, for example, I know you've obviously fought a lot in Russia, then you fought a lot in Thailand. Obviously, Thailand's a lot hotter, more humid. These different things. Does anything like that ever affect your preparation? Do you ever have to do anything to adapt to the different countries, or do you just take it as it comes?
Not really. Like I used to live in Thailand for 10 years, and mainly when I was fighting overseas, I was fighting from Thailand. I was flying everywhere from Thailand, and Thailand is always hot, the weather. And if I fight in Europe, sometimes it might be winter, autumn, and stuff like this. And if I go a couple of days earlier, it was like that's it. You get into it, you got into the weather and stuff. It doesn't bother you. And even sometimes when you're training is that hot and stuff like this in Thailand, when you go fighting in Italy or Holland somewhere and during the winter, even feels better. You feel way better. You're conditioned. Your strength is better. The only things could be like when you go there and you might get sick, because of the different weather difference, But otherwise, it's all good. It was beautiful.
Amazing. Okay, brilliant. Now, obviously, we've been, as I said, we've been moving around time a little bit here. I do need to give a mention to your home country as well, Dagestan, and your upbringing there, and the fact that you've represented your country around the world. But I know that when you were growing up, and I want to give this a mention, uh, it wasn't easy for you by any means, and it took you an incredible discipline to, go to the gym. I watched the interview you gave with One Championship where you talked about your upbringing there. And with this one, I don't really have like a really, narrow question about it as such. But I do just want to touch on the discipline it took for you to come out there. Now, the purpose of this question is actually for young fighters because a lot of young fighters, they watch my show, and obviously you can inspire them to compete and to make it big. But anything you'd like to say about the discipline that it took to succeed when you were young, when you were growing up in Dagestan? Anything you'd like to say
And
about that?
man, discipline is the main things. There's obviously every fighters who gonna uh, who try to become a big name, trying to become a big fighter and stuff like this. Obviously, through their fighting life, they're gonna have hard times. And main goal, main things have to be. It's always in your head. You have to be dream chaser, no matter what. Sometimes the time is up, sometimes time down, and stuff like this. But you got to be disciplined. You got to go follow the dreams you want to be. No matter what. It's gonna be rainy. It's gonna be snowy. It's gonna be, I don't know, flood and stuff. You just keep walking to your dreams, and that's the goal. The things. And sometimes you know what, like I'm a religious person. I believe to God. And sometimes God might not give you that what you want. You understand? But the discipline in your head is gonna be for the rest of your life. And you may not become a best fighter, but at some stage you're gonna change to something else. Some other discipline, not just the fighting, but let's say you're gonna be some engineer or anybody else. But discipline gonna be staying in your head. And same or chasing dreams in a fighting, chasing dreams in something else, be a fireman or policeman, you're still gonna be like chasing your dreams, following. You want to get your goals and stuff, and you'll do it. If you have a right discipline. That's the main things, the major things. That's it. And I were like that. Obviously when I was a kid, when I had my dad next to me, on the top of me always, he tells me what to do and stuff like that. But when my dad passed away and he wasn't next to me, took me a while, couple of maybe weeks or months, just to reset, to listen, to remind myself what my dad told me before he passed away. And then that's it. It's switched on and keep chasing my dreams. That's it. For him, for my dad, for his memory, for myself as well, for my family. I've been doing what I've been told to, and that's it. That's a discipline. And a lot of fighters, new generation fighters, new young fighters, everyone got to have that discipline, keep following the dreams. That's the main things, because a lot of fighters, now young fighters, they want to. No one wants to go through the hard time. like, yeah, I want to, you understand? Like, well, I want to become this, I want to become world champion, I want to become someone else, and I want to become legend and stuff. But no one wants to go the true hard times. When they see the hard times, they step away. Nah, it doesn't work like this. You know, you got to step through
Mm.
it.
Very much brilliant. Another brilliant insight, and thank you for sharing in such an open way. Now, you touched on something there that I want to highlight as well. You touched on your faith, and this is another question I had here. When I was researching, and again, this is one that's not really a narrow question. I mean, it's anything you'd like to say, but how does your faith sort of influence your life in terms of your fighting, in terms of particularly in terms of that? I mean, before fights, do you pray? Do you have any rituals that you go through? Just anything you'd like to say about how God guides you and how your faith influences your life. And I know again it's not a really narrow question. I go, let's talk about this piece because I don't want to limit it. I don't want to limit the question because it's your experience. So anything you'd like to share about that to the fans around the world?
Obviously, I do pray. I do pray 5 times a day. I don't pray just
Mhm.
before fight or just after fight. You know,
Absolutely, yeah.
I always pray five times a day. I'm practicing Muslim, and before fight, I ask God for a success. But you know what? Sometimes God doesn't give you that success, and you have to admit it. You have to accept it because it's not meant to be. You know, and maybe it would be better for you. You know, if you not win it. Maybe there is other, we chasing dreams, we following our dreams and stuff like this, but sometimes God doesn't give you that because he think it's not the best for you. He think there's something else could be better for you, you know. So I accept any result God gives, but my job is to work and make a reason to win, you know, fight and stuff. The result is up to God. That's it, and I accept that.
Brilliant, incredible. Yeah, I mean, it's another great insight. It's something else that maybe some fans know, some fans don't know. And I asked you about that around the fights because, I don't want to get into too many personal things that are your business, but the fact that the faith sort of influences your life is a wonderful thing, I think. So the last couple of things now, because there's only a few more things. Obviously, you've competed in boxing and MMA as well in the past, and I want to just touch on this just very briefly. What was it that inspired you to try out these different styles? Is it the challenge and to test yourself, like we were saying earlier, or maybe there's another reason? Just anything you'd like to say about what inspired you to have a number of MMA fights and try these different styles?
When I did boxing when I started from the boxing when I was a kid, and boxing it was into me always, you know. And there was a break from my kickboxing fight. I didn't have much kickboxing fight, and I had a good offer to fight on a big boxing show in Russia. And once I fought in a boxing fight in Australia as well. It wasn't a big show, but still, you know. And I had time between the fights, between big boxing fights. So I accepted just for trial and stuff like that. And it's nothing, it's not like something new special I do, you know. I did like MMA, let's say. But yes, I did boxing and it was nothing new for me, nothing special. But I took it as a kickboxing fight and I win both of them. And why did I try MMA? When did I try? It was when the like kickboxing world gone a bit like down. There was no big shows, there was no big fights, and the UFC was like on the top of the fight game, and a lot of fighters wanted to jump there and stuff. So I said to myself, why not? Why not try? Let's see what I was gonna. And especially I was only 30, 31 years old. I tried. I did 3 pro fights, all of them won by KO. But then I would have keep continue that, but I never got a good offer. And especially when you're getting in the age 34, 33 years old, you know you don't want to spend time fighting like I'm making my money in kickboxing fight. I getting my purse and stuff like this. And then when you jump into MMA, especially something new, you got to start everything from scratch, you know, and you don't want to do that in my age, you know. If there were good offers from, let's say, UFC or Bellator and something like this, and it was a good offer, good numbers, yes, obviously I would continue that one, and I'm pretty sure that I will do it all right, because when I fought in MMA, I was doing really all right. Like, I've done 3 fights and 3 KOs, and but there was no good offers. So anyway, it's meant to be like this. I accept that. You know, like, if it's not meant to be, not meant to be, what I can do.
Very true, very true. Brilliant. Okay. So the last couple of things then is, I think there's only two or three things, or maybe two things, because I don't want to take up too much of your evening, because I know it's late there and maybe you want to rest and everything. But um, do you feel that you have inspired young fighters, to compete, like influence them, maybe back home in Dagestan, maybe in any country? I mean, because you obviously you have fans all around the world. So what are your thoughts on your inspirational quality to the young, up and coming, future champions and everything like this?
Obviously, you get, like, I got SMSs, messages, like private message, DM messages on Instagram, comments like, "Hi man, I've been inspired by you. I started my fights because of you," and stuff like this. People from Italy, from Singapore, from Malaysia, from Russia, from anywhere from Europe and stuff like this. It makes you happy, because, like, um, some people woke up. You woke up someone, you woke up some wolves, future wolves and stuff like this, lions, and it makes you happy and stuff like this. But from Dagestan as well, there's a lot of people who same. They say, "Because of you, Dzhabar, I started. I really love your fight style and stuff like this." And some of them really like to fight like me. Not just like being a fighter, but they try to copy the style of fighting. But for me, I've been like, yeah, it would be. It's one of the best things. It's one of the goals when you wanna. When I was like 18 years old, I was saying, when I'm gonna get 30, 35, I want to look behind and back and see that young fighters saying, "Dzhabar, yeah, I want to be like you," and stuff like this. It makes you proud of yourself. And but now, yes, it's a good things, but I really would love to, if back home, where I come from, Dagestan, people spend more time on education. You know, I really love to see educated young generation. That's really important, and that's what I love to see at this stage, at these days. And if I had a chance to support them somehow financially or however, I would do that 100%, just to
Brilliant.
make them educated well, and work for the people back home. Yeah.
Brilliant. Brilliant. So pretty much the last thing, because I know we've talked about your future plans at the beginning, and we've touched on that in bare knuckle, and we're all excited. So because sometimes I talk about the future at the end, but we've done that the other way around, which is cool. So the last thing really is with your fans and your supporters and the people that watch you fight and everything. Obviously, a lot of them watching this, listening to this. The last thing to ask you is would you have anything to say to them, to the people watching this? And it's not like a narrow question. It's anything that you want to say that comes from the heart, to the people that have supported you so far, and obviously will continue to support you in your journey to, bare knuckle and wherever else, the journey takes you. What would you say to your fans and supporters watching this?
Uh, at these days, especially these crazy times, I would want to say main things I would love to say to them: stay safe, stay healthy, your families, look after your beloved ones. There's the major things, To the young generation all around the world, I would say to educate yourself, guys. Be smart, especially these days as well. A lot of crazy things happening around the world. Be smart, be tough, be strong, and and stay healthy. And for those who wants to see my fight with bare knuckle, go on a bare knuckle BKFC page and just annoy them. to make sure that they're gonna get the fight against Chad Mendes. If you want to see that, tag me, tag Chad, tag the whole BKFC, and ask them. Let's make this fight happen. That's it. That's all I want to say.
Brilliant, brilliant. Well, champ, I mean, we've covered a lot. I mean, I knew it would be good, but we've covered a lot more than I thought again, and it's very cool because some of the questions I have, you answered them in one go, and you went really in depth with things. So I appreciate that very much. Appreciate the openness and
My,
making a great interview for the fans. So I just want to say, big thank you for your time and obviously your evening, my afternoon, and it's been a real pleasure, Thank you.
thank you for giving that opportunity, and my pleasure always. All the best.
All the best, champ. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to the Simply Inspired YouTube channel, and there'll be more videos coming soon.